All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our RAGIN with our special guest is Zauer. Cagey Comics, what in the heck is going on here? Episode 41, RAGIN with. We'll be right back after this.
RAGIN.
Howdy, everybody. Sure that you hit the subscribe button wherever it is you're tuning in from, because we are simulcasting to Geek Insider, Comics and More New Jersey, Indie Vault, as well as APC. That's right. Hit the button. This evening's special guest, we are RAGIN with Zauer. I hope I'm saying your last name right.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. This is episode 41. Let me drop the card here and say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. I'm gonna put you in the position of honor.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Right there.
I like it.
Kurt, I love the creator's journey. I love the Genesis story. And I need to know, when did young Kurt decide that he wanted to write for comic books?
Oh my goodness. It's been a while. It's been for me, honestly, I was in comics quite a bit in high school. And then I took a break after graduating, and I really got back into it in right around 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Was I jumping on the bandwagon? Maybe. I guess I was kind of a little bit. Sorry. But no, I had all my, I was really into Inferno and the Inferno line when I was a kid, and X-Men and Daredevil and Captain America. Those were all my favorites. So basically, then I started kind of getting back into it. Of course, with everything that's going on now, and just the realm that pretty much what got me back in. Was having a better understanding of where comics can go and the different things they can do. And for me, that was Southern Bastards. I don't know if you remember that title. It's Jason Latour. Great. It's like a Southern fried crime story with a crime boss who's also the local football coach. So he gets away with everything. And it's just so well done, such a great story, and that's really, I read that and thought, how great is this? If someone can do this with a comic book, then it's time to do that myself. There's so many. I didn't want to do a superhero in tight story. I love those comics and those stories, but I think we're tracking on those. I think we got plenty of those. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do something more supernatural, a little different, a little nastier. But yeah,
dark.
So
you got the dark going on.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people do dark comics, but really that's just me. That's what I like, and that's what I'm going to do. So
I want to ask you about the high school, Kurt, though, because we've had so many guests who have talked about kind of the introduction into comics, their love of comics, obviously, but did you pass around a notebook? Was it something that you kind of like wrote stories or doodled and things? What was that like?
To be honest, it was gaming. When I was a kid, when I was in 5th grade, my teacher swiped my D&D basic booklet from me. from my desk. That's when the whole satanic thing was going on, and people were worried about our children,
Right.
and disappearing in the middle of the night while playing these satanic games. So yeah, for me. It started with role playing games, um, Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, we also got into eventually Marvel superheroes, which was just a blast. So and to be a gamer in that way, it takes a lot of story, a lot of character, a lot of plot, and creating a campaign and all the storylines and characters. So I think I've been ready to do this for a much longer time. I probably should have pulled the trigger a lot earlier,
Mhm.
but yeah, but here I am. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun, and I'm still learning. I'm still testing the water, still learning. It's a little slower than I want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The growth part, but yeah, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've loved stories and great characters and great villains, and I think I like villains more, to be
Oh,
honest.
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Definitely the villains. They always seem more interesting, and there's always that opportunity for a redemption story, or you just love to hate them, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to, how much more despicable can your villain get? Let's see what we can do there.
Do your villains have your villains ever kind of scared you when you were writing, and you're like, oh my god, where did that come from?
Yes. The villain that makes his my most recent villain is going to be like that. I can't spoil it, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he does some nasty stuff. So at the end of the comic, I've got a full page reveal of him at the end, and just kind of this big bloody scene, and it's going to be fun. I think people will like it.
Boy.
And Nailbiter was actually another one. Southern Bastards and Nailbiter. I've actually got the volumes of Nailbiter up there. That was a kind of a horror comic that really blew me away too. So yeah.
Wow. So when you're writing, do you start off with prose? Do you think of different panels? I mean, what is your writing journey like as far as kind of putting this together?
Generally, I start on a notebook, just pen and paper, sketching out bits of dialogue and scenes, and then I'll go to a step sheet. I'll say this and then this and then this, and I've been playing a lot more with a mirror and sticky notes. That's actually great for organizing your story. You write little scenes down. This is what's got to happen in this issue, and then you kind of move them around on the mirror, and it's immensely helpful. And then what's cool is I just listened to or read Save the Cat, and that screenwriting book, and they do that already. They that's kind of a trick that they, I was kind of proud of myself that I had done that without even getting prompted from anyone. But that helps me immensely. I've got a notebook here pasted with sticky notes, so I slide them around and get things ready to go. So it's fun. It's enjoyable.
Right. So with Spectress and Sebanion, we're definitely going to talk about that a bit more. How much research did you have to do to kind of get these characters to come to life, their world and everything that's involved with this story?
I've really always loved ancient Egypt. My main protagonist is an ancient Egyptian, and I've always kind of really loved the art and the mythology and the old gods and the pyramids and just kind of that ancient mystery. So I knew I wanted to have a protagonist from that time, and I've done Audible. I've done one of the courses, history courses on ancient Egypt. Not really as research, but it's just because I enjoy it. So So I guess in that's research. As far as some of the other characters, I've got some military people in there. I'm a veteran myself, so I've got some military voices in my story that I hope people can connect to.
Well, thank you for your service too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice.
Yeah, I've got 2 boys in the Marine Corps right now, and I'm married to a veteran. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. What do they do in the Corps?
Yeah. Well, one is military intelligence, which makes me kind of giggle. and the other one is electric engineering.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Smart guys.
Smart guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Marines. I've worked with a few Marines. They're a separate breed.
Yes,
they know it, and they never have anything good to say about the Army. But
no, never. Well, my father was an Army veteran too, so we're covering all the branches.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I think they teach Marines. They teach them to be Marines and then to hate the Army.
I love them all. I love veterans, all of you. So, what was that? What was that influence then, and how did you incorporate that into your story?
Well, I've been overseas a couple times. I haven't seen any combat, but I've been close, and I have a lot of friends that have been through some things. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a way to to honor them and kind of bring out the things they've gone through. It's not. A lot of the things you see on TV and movies and things like that, the military is always very poorly portrayed, and there's a few good ones out there, but military people are human beings too, and they have fears and longings and faults, and they're not all perfect. There's things that they have to do that they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to bring that out in my story too, so yeah, trying to bring a little attention that way.
Well, it helps with the character development and just the depth, because being able to draw from that well of knowing people or your own experiences too. Just I think it helps with our writing as writers, bring that level of immersion to the audience.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. You want to have some realism to the story. Obviously not everybody's Captain America. I love Captain America, mm-hmm. But there's nobody really like that. I mean, that's what makes him a hero. Because he's perfect, and soldiers aren't. They are some of the most. I've worked with some of the most competent, intelligent, and resourceful people. I know I'd never meet people like this if I hadn't been in the military. So I'm really thankful to have served and to be able to grow myself and learn from these people, absorb their experiences, have my own, and lead and be led by some fantastic people. So mm-hmm. When you meet military people, they're interested in serving. They want to serve, and there's a selflessness there that you don't see too much in other places. So mm-hmm. I think we could do with a little more selflessness, a little more teamwork, if you ask me. But that's because I was in the military for so long. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Teamwork. And speaking of teams, it takes a team to put together a book. What has been, I guess, the biggest challenge for you to put a team together that works? Because, we're looking at the campaign. It's books 1 through 3.
Yes.
And I'm going to guess that there's more to come. At least we hope so. So when it comes to putting together your team, what has it been like working on book one and then getting to the point where you are now?
I'd say that we've really come a long way. My artist Topper Helmers, he's an older school guy. He did art, a lot of comic art in the late '80s, early '90s, and I met him at a show. It's funny because I do IT full time, and he needed like a tablet or something fixed. Could you help me with
World.
this? Yeah. So then we got to talk, and he had a bunch of his original art there, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. He's like, I want to do another comic book. Let's do a comic book. And I was like, yeah, let's. So he and I get together, we get along really well, and he likes bigger. He does theme park design, and he likes kind of big, bold panels and pages, right? So he's actually helped me grow kind of that way, in that he, in this next issue that's coming up, issue 4, he's like, I want to do a 2-page splash, and let's do a couple 1-page splashes, and he's prodding me, which is so nice, because maybe as a writer I'm thinking about story and what how much we can get on the page and things like that, and he's thinking bigger, bolder page turns and things like that, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So he's already done 2 amazing 2-page spreads for issue 4, and a couple of 1-page spreads, and we're gonna incorporate that into issue 4. Issue 3, he'll cut down my panel count on a page and just make a bigger action scene, which he's being gentle with me, which is good, because I can maybe put a little bit too much on a page, which it's a writer thing. So yeah.
So that almost sounds like a really trusting partnership, because as a wordsmith, we're like, oh, these are my words, this is my dialogue, this is what's happening, and then sometimes we forget that a lot of times the art can carry so many of those details. So when he's saying, I want to do a splash page, you're like, what about my words? I mean, does it help? Does it hinder? Is it something you struggle with, or you kind of, all right, let's see how it goes?
It is. We see how it goes. I enjoy, he does a little consolidation on some pages, and then when I see how they come out, I'm like, yes, this was a good idea. Those 7 to 9 panel pages that I like to do, or I want to play with. He's more of a, like I say, he's a big, bold, scene kind of guy, and I mean, when you see the next issue, you'll see why, because they're just amazing. But yeah, no, he and I go back and forth, and actually that process is just probably one of the best parts of being a writer. I'm sure you get that too. I mean, seeing your script come to life, it's probably the most magical part of making comics. And I'm sorry, do you draw as well as write? Or?
I scribble.
Okay.
I scribble. I'm definitely more of the writer's brain.
Okay, all right. Yeah, same here. But when I pass off that script to Topper, he'll give me the roughs first. Just real rough pages and panels, and then we talk, we agree or disagree, and we fix things, and then I start getting the drawn pages, and that's just magical. I love it. So,
have you ever gotten art back and then realized that your words could be better? That you're going there, and it's like, oh, he's taking this to a different direction, or are you kind of very strict with that, and it's like, hey, no, like, stick with the script? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes no, I guess we pretty much stick to the script, although I I recognize the need, and I've touched base with I've found an editor to work with me to get my word count down a little bit, because I understand, I see, I need to, the flourishes I need to cut down on a little bit sometimes, and that's just learning and growing as a writer, so if you're a new writer out there, trust me, get yourself an editor, and keep it tight, keep your dialogue short and sweet, and you'll thank yourself for that. So
Yeah, I have myself a Nita, and Nita Lanning has sat in a room with me just like this,
okay.
going through our scripts and things, and she's like, "Cut it! You don't need it. Cut it. That's redundancy. That's shit." It's and I've also, because of budget constraints too, and we'll probably talk about that as well. Doing my own lettering, which allows me the freedom to go in there and tweak the words if it doesn't quite fit. And again, she's in my ear. Cut it.
Good. That's good. You have that voice in your ear. We all need that. We do. We really do. But yeah, no.
Does it break your heart?
It does, but I know it's necessary. I need Anita here too to say, what's wrong with you? Come on.
Yeah.
You need to shorten this up a bit, and yeah, I think it's going well. My letterer, I'm working with a new letterer for issue 3, and he's helped a little bit with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to make it work, and as long as you're conveying the story and the whatever the reader needs to know what's going on, you're good to go.
What was your experience getting art for the first time for one of your stories?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, like I say, it's the most magical thing. Well, my first issue, I worked with a guy. His name's Sajjad Shaw. I met him at C2E2 in 2016, or probably 2015, and I did like a short 10-page comic with him, black and white, and his stuff was really, his art's really amazing. He's very much more a kind of superhero in tights kind of artist. His anatomy is amazing. He can draw a human figure and muscle and everything. It's awesome. And so he was a good fit for that story, because it was basically a black and white preview issue, and it was all it was kind of an Indiana Jones flavored, stealing back looted artifacts from terrorists. Kind of a run and gun comic. So he was good for that story. Oh geez, what? But yeah, no, the process, he would scan it and send it to me, and that's magic. I mean, that's the writer's dream, is seeing your script come together in this amazing.
Yeah, I would say the first time that I got, the first time, because I have to pay an artist,
right?
So I was sick to my stomach, because I'm like,
really?
I'm putting money out for something. I don't know this artist. I never worked with them before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you ever get nervous about things like that? It's like because it's an investment. At the end of the day, it's an investment of your money and your time.
Yes. I don't know. I've always been pretty confident in my art picks. Sajjad was great. I was able to look at all of his stuff right there at his table, and same thing with Topper. I'm a little iffy about finding someone online and saying, "Hey, will you draw this?" That part's a little. I had an experience earlier that was a little iffy. for someone, you're just judging their stuff on DeviantArt or ArtStation.com, one of those. So that part scares me. If I can meet somebody and physically see their stuff, I'm pretty confident in the choices that I make there. Yeah.
So, Kurt, let me ask you: have you been really active with conventions in previous years?
Uh, 2019, I did about 10 shows.
Okay.
Well, no, it would have been 2017. Sorry.
So you've been to quite a few then, right? Because
Yes.
I have a lead up question because I know several artists who are putting together their portfolios to go to conventions. So they have this notebook, or, this binder of work that they can show. And maybe that gets them jobs, maybe that gets them commissions and things like that. But as writers, I never really hear of anybody saying, "Hey, I've got a portfolio of work. Who wants to work with me?" I mean,
Right.
what are the options for writers? Is it just, hey, develop your own IP or hope that a studio picks you up?
Yeah, I mean it's all going to be based on your work, and I don't know how that part works, to be honest. Like, I want Meredith to write my story. How does that work?
How does that work, right?
Yeah, no idea. They have to read your stuff. They have to get hold of your story and read it and enjoy it. I guess they got to like your style. I don't know how that happens.
When I have the answers, I'll tell you, and you do the same for me, because I'm still trying to figure that out. If it was only as easy as, and I'm not saying easy, like putting together a portfolio. We've talked to other artists too who've done that, and they all have a different way of doing it based on, I guess, the job that they're going for.
Have you ever been approached and say, somebody asked you how much would it cost? Yeah, approached you to write a script.
I've been approached, but it was more for a collaborative thing, or maybe like an anthology or something, a collection of stories and things like that. So shorter things. But this, I'm fairly new in this journey too. So I think trying to build up those credits and a history of fulfilling these orders and stuff like that, and finding, tapping people and say, "Hey, did you read that? What'd you think of this story? What'd you think of my story?"
I know. Getting good feedback is so.
It's hard as a writer.
Yeah. Sometimes you wonder. You get your, like, I got my editor, and she says, "Oh, this is great." Sometimes you get a little suspicious. Are you just saying that?
Yeah, you're just stroking my feathers right now.
Yes. I mean, an editor could just say, you pay them however much, and they just say, "Hey, this is great. You got a few punctuation problems," and print it. So you get a little suspicious when you're not. What? There must be something else wrong with it. That's too.
Are you really being honest with me?
Yeah, exactly. Am I just paying you to blow sunshine at me?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, because at the end of the day, they want to get paid. They don't want you being upset either. But honesty is really important for you as a writer as well, to get that critique without killing your dreams.
Right, exactly. You don't want. I mean, you want your friends. I have my friends look at the story. What do they think? Oh, it's great. And that feels great. Obviously, but who's going to be your Nita and say, this sucks. Get this out of here.
Got it.
You need that too. You need that. So you gotta find an editor that'll lay it on the line for you and tell you how it really is. So cut it.
Have you ever done editing?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sharp with grammar and punctuation. I'm pretty good at that. but the things I'm looking for is like story structure and dialogue and those kinds of things. I think is where I want the most help.
As a writer, what kind of feedback works best for you? I mean, we talk about brutal honesty because we want our stories to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you look more for the technical things? Do you look more for the story arc when you're trying to get feedback from people? Like, what do you most appreciate when you get the feedback?
Ooh, mostly it's is the story coherent? And is what sometimes what I'm thinking the reader is following, if a stranger reads it, they're like, no, that I did not get that from this. Is my story structure on target? Am I really relating what I want to relate? And for that, since I already have the stories in my head already, I might gloss over a few things, or there might be some things that aren't entirely clear. So I need that stranger, that fresh set of eyes to look it over and tell me I didn't get this, or why is this person doing this? So it's mostly story structure. I need a little help on character voice. Sometimes I try to keep my characters having their own original voices, and that's not always easy. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Kurt, we are we just blew past our 30-minute mark. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We've got a bump. For everybody who's tuning in, thank you. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We're simulcasting to Geek Insider Comics in More New Jersey, Indie Volt, as well as RAGIN AVC. We are sitting here with Kurt Zauer, episode 41. We'll be right back after this. All right, comic book fans, if you have something that you need to deliver, you want to make sure your comic books are delivered safely. That's right. You want to use a Gemini mailer. So for a 10% discount on your Gemini mailers, make sure you use coupon code VOLT10. That's right. You can save 10% on your Gemini mailers. Go to Gemini Comic Supply, put in VOLT10 as your coupon code, save some money, get your comics there safely. Thank you, Indie Volt. That is courtesy Varian Grant. We appreciate you. And we are back with Kurt Zauer. We're going to be talking about Spectress and Sebanion 1 through 3 on Kickstarter right now. Make sure that you check out the show notes. We've got the links to his Kickstarter as well as his social media. And here we go. We are back. Hey. So I'm going to pull up your campaign here. And let's talk about Spectress and Sebanion a little bit. So 1 through 3. Do people need to start at 1 to understand, or can they pick up a single floppy and be in the book?
They probably need to start with issue number 1. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the characters are introduced. The third issue, actually, more that I think about it, I mean, it's the first 3 issues are basically a jailbreak. There's a lot of build up in the first issue, a lot of action at the end, and issue 2 is almost all action. But at the same time, you're learning more and more about the protagonist and the antagonist, Sabanion. And then issue 3 kind of completes. It's the end of the jailbreak. They're outside the fence, and the story keeps going from there. So I guess potentially, yes, you could start with issue number 3 and kind of still follow the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so you said that there was you're already working on issue 4.
Yes.
How big is this story? How long can it go?
The story can go for quite a long time. I could probably very easily do this as a monthly. If I were doing this full time anyway. But yeah, I have plenty of ideas. I probably this first story arc will probably go about 6 issues, so we're halfway in, and a number of villains are introduced again. I love villains. You can see the nasty one there on the cover. I'm surprised that Kickstarter actually let that one through. It's a bit gruesome. That's Topper Helmer's awesome, kinetically crazy cover there. That's the Watane Metawa, which is the evil owl spirit.
Ooh.
So yeah.
So when you started this journey for Spectress and Sebanion, oftentimes, we talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I've got 100 issues already thought out. I've got 50 issues," and I'm like, "Does it ever feel too big?"
Yeah.
When you're looking at the scope of this world that you're creating, are you ever like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And then how do you bring it back in?
There's that potential. Yeah, I think that I'm not the biggest fan of time travel, so I created a character that's lived since ancient Egyptian times. So if I want to go back and do a story, maybe in medieval Japan or Aztec South America, those, I have that freedom to do that, but I don't ever want to do a time travel story. But to speak more to your question, I probably have about 3 or 4 planned arcs, which could go, probably 30 or 40 issues,
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you ever look at that big number and go, "Nope, I can't think about it"?
Well, each arc is going to be a new villain, and I love villains,
Mm-hmm.
so that makes it so much easier. In the first 3 issues, you see there on the cover the evil owl spirit. That's a villain that gets introduced in issue number 1. It's this evil entity which has been bound in a certain place ever since before settlers, Europeans ever came to America. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get introduced to Alarbus, who is an exorcist. The exorcists are these kind of holy men and women that work at Containment Facility 4, which is the place where the evil owl spirit is kept bound, and it's kind of an overall prison for supernatural threats, and that's where Sabanion is also kept.
Mm-hmm.
So. And Strange and Aneksi, Spectress, the protagonist, needs to break him out of the prison so she can basically start her life. And things don't always go as planned in the jailbreak, and possibly the evil owl spirit gets loose as well. So.
So you were talking about the different story arcs that you have kind of thinking about or planning. Maybe you've even outlined a little bit of them. Have you thought about, I mean, are they ever going to cross over, or will they be like independent arcs within this realm that you're creating?
Yeah, they'll all be a solid linear story.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of this story arc, probably again issue 5 or 6, is when Spectress kind of takes up that heroic mantle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
In the opening part of the story here, she's actually rather selfish. She is a ghost, but she has learned over the millennia to rejoin the world of the living, to kind of make herself look solid and be able to move things in space, and so she feels she's ready. She wants purpose. She wants to make her mark in the world. She doesn't want to be a ghost in the shadows anymore. So she's pushing forward. She's created a plan. She was always a very dynamic person, so she kind of takes what she wants. She's a bit of a soldier. She's very mission focused, getting it done. And sometimes she is a bit oblivious to the aftermath and the collateral damage that goes on. So basically, she is bound by an ancient curse to this demon named Sebanion. The two of them can't really exist without the other, one without the other. So as she pushes forward in her plan, she has to drag Sebanion with her. And in this case, it's breaking her out of Containment Facility 4 in this prison. And again, she wants it to go down without any violence, and things don't entirely work out.
That always, conflict and resolution, finding that balance is so difficult. When it comes to writing your stories and things, where do you put your energy as far as creating this? Do you do outlines? And I'm speaking like the technical, because you said about the sticky notes, and I am a sticky note fan.
Yeah,
but like there's only so much wall space, right? When you're trying to build out this world and stuff, and then having all of these voices in your head, I'm assuming that you have the voices too. Kind of talking to you, like, write me. And you're like, hold on. Like, is it like a hot mess in a notebook? Do you kind of outline as best you can and just say, okay, that's enough of you right now? How do you kind of sort through that mess? Well, it's a mess in my head. I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. It's funny that you mentioned it. Yes, it is a hot mess in a notebook to start with. It's snippets of, we got to do this, and he's got to say this, and she's got to come over here, and yeah. So, and then I'm flipping. It's a big mess, and then from there I hone and create a step sheet. But yeah, to start out with, it's I've got a notebook with pages torn out and sticky notes and different inks of pens, because I gotta have this over here and this. So yeah, it's a hot mess. But then it slowly over time it sharpens out a bit. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. What other projects have you kind of worked on or worked in where people can find some of your other work?
Really, this is it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I am branching out. I'm going to add another title probably after book 4 launches. I'm going to add a title called Ruxy Vampire, which is about a vampire that goes to sleep for a while because she's kind of on the run, and she wakes up in 1920s Chicago, and in the height of the Prohibition era, right? So she gets caught up in the glitz, glamour, and violence of Prohibition Chicago. So I'm gonna, and it's all part of my evil plan to bring in more. And it's going to have a very tangential connection to Spectress and Sebanion.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring, hopefully a different, bigger audience, and these two will intersect, and because I'm still working on building that big audience. So.
Because I was going to segue into, like, just because you have a campaign going on doesn't mean you stop writing, doesn't mean you stop the creative process. There's always something else going on. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still reviewing pages from issue 4, and
Mhm.
Topper's great because he's very aggressive, and he's like, give me more, he
Right.
wanted my script even before I had my editor do her magic on it. I'm like, I'm giving you the script, but keep in mind it might change. He's like, that's all right, just give it to me. So he's always asking for the next, and I like that. I like that he's like, what do you got for me next? And I'm like, oh yeah, I should have something for you. So he motivates me, and I like that, and that's another reason why we click so well, I think.
I love that because it's kind of like an accountability partner, right? I mean, if you were left to your own devices, do you think that you would be as structured and on track as you are?
Yes, you know what? I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right. He is an accountability partner. He's like, hey, what you got for me? Come on, let's go.
Right.
Because he loves art. He loves to draw. He loves to keep busy. And he showed me his office was when he was doing the issue 4. It's very heavy ancient Egyptian. It's kind of set back in that time period, and he's got all of his books and reference materials out, and he loved it. He loves that era, so he had a blast with it. Yeah.
I think it helps too when somebody is that passionate about your work that they're inspired to draw. I mean, that's what we can all hope for, is finding that, somebody who I think believes in your work almost as much as you do.
Yeah. He's had a blast.
Hmm.
He always he's like, this is perfect. One of his favorite shows was Rome, and he gets excited about architecture and these kinds of things. So yeah, he and I have been. This is a great. I mean, it's almost it's fate or something. I don't know what it is, but he's perfect to draw a story with some ancient Egyptian influence and flavor to it. So yeah, I'm real lucky. And he found our colorist, Wesley Wong. He found him at a show. He's like, I got our colorist. Don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, let's see. And boom, he was right.
Hmm.
So again, I've been, as far as art goes, I've been really lucky.
Right. And I know, like, we've had Mog Park in the seat a couple of times too. And
Yes.
she's so much fun to talk to, and her creativity and her artwork is uh, pretty amazing. Because this when I was looking at this with the outline and the art and everything, plus the cards, whose idea was it to incorporate the trading cards, the tarot cards?
Um, she wanted to do, well, she suggested when I brought her in, she did issue 2, a cover for me.
Hmm.
And she said, well, how about we try a tarot card style cover? I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So she did strength. You can, yeah, that's it there in like the lower right.
Hmm.
And it was awesome, and she put so much thought and research into it, and the symbolism and the detail, it's great. And and she said, well, for the launch, I could do a whole set of cards. I'm like, yeah, hey, let's
Wow.
do it. Yeah, and I still have those. I'm still selling them, and it's been going very well. And then her cover for issue 3 is the tower, and it's beautiful. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So we're going through the campaign right now and kind of stopping at the art and the different tiers and things like that. Um, Really exciting to see the different covers on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Again, I've been lucky as far as covers go. I've got the one from Mog, which is awesome. Topper again did that gruesome evil owl spirit cover, and I have Ivan Tao,
Mhm.
who has done a number of covers. He's done Something is Killing the Children. He's done Image Studios. I think Department of Truth was another one. I think he's done a Punchline cover for DC too. His art station is amazing, and he's offering custom sketches as well. I think that's one of the characters from Something is Killing the Children.
Right.
And he put together an amazing cover for me as well. I kind of cheated. I had that made into my convention banner. I got a new convention banner put together. And, can I steal your art for this? He's like, yeah, sure. So,
Sure, why not?
yeah, so boom. And these are Chris Enut's original pencils and inks are available. These are actually from issues 1 and 2.
Wow.
He just bought a house, so he wasn't in on the cover for this issue. He didn't have the time to get to it. But his original art is still available, and that's part of the Kickstarter as well.
And I love that you have the plan here as far as like, receiving funds, files to printer and things like that. I mean, so essentially the book is done?
Yes, there's a little bit of lettering to do yet, but yeah, the art is all complete.
Nice. I think that's important for people to know is like when they can expect this book too. And I did want to ask you something though, with as far as because now you are on book 3, you're kind of working on 4 and everything. Has it been easier now? And I'm going to assume yes, that people are kind of approaching you with ideas or covers and maybe prints and things like that.
Approaching me
to be part of like the campaign, to just kind of be part of the world.
I've had one artist send me an email, which is really cool. I've been pinging other different sequential artists for Ruxy Vampire, and I've had some positive feedback there. I'm kind of asking Mog if she'd like to do the interior art, the sequential art. And she's reading the script right now, so we'll see. But I'm still getting there yet, as far as a fan base and building my reputation. Chris Enut, he's such a great guy, and he's been so easy to work with, and same with Mog. Mog's fantastic. So I think slowly but surely I'm getting there.
I think that's important though to what you were saying, is building that reputation.
I've had a few people on Instagram ask me about what writing a script. I had one guy ask me about doing kind of a dark cyberpunk, a couple scripts, and then there was one other person. So people have approached me about scripts, but haven't pulled any triggers. I've been so busy anyway with this. It's hard to find time to knock out extra scripts when you've got all this stuff going on. So, but yeah, I'm getting there. It'll take a little time, but I'm getting there. I'm working on my patience.
Well, we're almost at the end of our hour. Is it okay if I play your video?
Oh, please do. Thank you.
Perfect. Here we go. Before I hit that, let me get that on the big screen. And here we go.
Hi, I'm Kurt Zauer, writer and creator of Spectress and Sebanion, and I'm back with the next chapter. In this issue, our gruesome supernatural twosome completes their escape from Containment Facility 4. Aneksi, our ancient Egyptian ghost, leans hard on a rare human friend, and another bloody ghost makes his terrifying debut. So many surprises in this one, and I know you're going to love it. My Kickstarter goal is to fund the first print run of issue number 3. This issue features 36 interior pages and 2 alternate covers. The art is complete and ready to go to the printer. For this issue, I'm bringing even more great art and great artists. Interior artist Topper Helmers has created 3 more limited edition prints just for this launch. Mog Park is back with another gorgeous tarot card style cover, as well as remarked and sketch covers. Artist Ivan Tao has also created an amazing new cover and is offering custom pencil sketches. Be sure to check out the add-on section for extra goodies like tarot cards, metallic covers, and CGC grading. Thanks again for your support. We're 3 issues into the first story arc and the villains are coming out of the woodwork. I can't wait to get you this chapter of my story. Issue 4 is already in the works and it's going to blow you away. So please, take a look at the reward tiers available and select your pledge level. The Moon Crew is counting on you.
That's right, everybody. Spectress and Sebanion, number 1 through 3, Mystery, Suspense, and Horror. Make sure that you get over to Kickstarter today and back. We've got 59 backers, 18 days to go. Kurt Zauer, one more question.
Fire away.
If you were going to give people who are coming into comics one piece of advice, what would be the best piece of advice that you could give?
Be patient. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Really, keep at it. You're going to go through a lot of self-doubt and what am I doing? And this is terrible. And that's always going to be there, but just be patient. You get better. You find your successes where you can, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So and enjoy it. Do your best to enjoy it. Have fun.
What would you say about pursuing perfection when it comes to writing? Does it even exist?
No. I think if somebody comes to you and says, "Read this, it's perfect," that's not going to work.
We are our worst critics.
Yeah, don't ever say that. I don't think a writer could ever say that it's perfect. But but I hear you. You want it to be, but
Sure.
will it ever? But there comes a time where, hey, you get your fans. Well, the beautiful thing is you actually do get those fans out there that you don't know exist. I did a signing at a local shop here, and this young lady comes in and she's like, "Oh, I love your stuff." I don't think I ever met her in my entire life. I don't even know where she might have gotten my book. It was when I was just starting out. She's like, "Oh, this is the best, and thank you." And I told all my friends about it, and I was like, "Are you talking to me? Is there somebody else in here?"
What, me?
Yeah, exactly. But they're there, and they're wonderful. And just tell your story. Always try to get better. Always, find your Nita who says this sucks, get rid of it, or fix this, or
With
cut
love.
it. That's
All
right.
love.
Right. It's got to be gentle. It's got to be nice. But yeah, just be patient because it takes time, but it happens. I think really the people that stick it out are the ones that are going to be successful. So it's hard to be patient, but you got to learn that. So
The thing from being a Marine mom is something that I've always kind of had throughout my life is that hurry up and wait. You hurry up because you want to get this done, but then you have to wait to see what happens, wait to see if it catches on. And that's the journey, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what, highs and lows, always,
Always.
But the highs are worth it. So it's always fun.
Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
It's getting dark. I don't know if you heard the thunder, and I was so afraid that I was going to lose power, but we made it.
Oh yeah,
We made it.
the same thing here. That's funny. Yeah.
So where can people find you? Where are you most active on social media?
Probably Instagram. My Instagram is just Kurt Zauer. I do a lot of posting there. I'm also on Facebook. You could just search for my name. I also have a business page, Kurt Zauer. And I do have a website where I keep a blog at cageycomics.com. That's CAGEY comics.com. And I blog there, and I've got a little shop there, and so yeah.
Now, can people get back issues on your website as well, or are you limiting that to your Kickstarter?
You can get back issues on my website. Yes.
Awesome. So make sure you guys tune in. I'm going to put the card up here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is RAGIN with Kurt Zauer, episode 41. Make sure that you head over there, hit the subscribe button, follow him on his social media. Just don't peek at his windows because that's weird. On that note, you guys have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to share it out with your friends. We've got a lot of information here. Kurt, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Meredith.
Have a great night, everybody. Be safe, stay productive, be kind, and hit the button. We're out of here.